Hi, Drashti. Thank you for joining us today. We are live on LinkedIn. A very warm welcome on behalf of Tapsstart Digital. Myself, Amrit Achipalia, and I'm welcoming you all on this fifth episode of Amazing Entrepreneurs. Today we have with us Drashti, founder of WholeSquared, a home decor marketplace in India. She has just started her journey. She has created an amazing marketplace for the homegrown Indian brands that are into um, selling unique products for home decor. Drashti, before we start today's session, let's quickly start. Uh, we would our viewers would like to hear from you, your introduction and what good work you're trying to do.
Yeah. Hi, Amrit. First of all, thank you very much for inviting me to this series. It's great, to being standing next to all these amazing entrepreneurs already running for a really long time. Just to introduce myself, so I am an interior designer, and I graduated from CEPT University, and I was practicing for 6 years until now. And so during my practice, styling spaces and, at the end of every project was something that I loved to do. And that was one of my most favorite thing to do. So I always loved home decor and styling spaces. And, I would find myself scrolling through the websites, trying to find these unique products all the time. So yeah, so this passion led me to start WholeSquared now.
Superb. Uh, Let me ask this question that I ask all the guests on our session: that what problem is your business trying to solve?
Um, so at WholeSquared, we bring together this, beautiful brands together. These brands are all homegrown brands, where the products are made by the creators themselves, or they are even made by, our Indian artisans. So we try to bring this on board. We try to showcase, their products in a very styled format, in a mood board, so to say, to help our customers visualize the products in their space. So if somebody is a non-designer person, for them to visualize these products, what kind of product would look good in their space is a little difficult. So we are trying to solve this problem where we try to showcase different types of styles of interiors and which product would go with which kind of a style. So
Hmm.
that's what WholeSquare is all about.
So I think this is again, in my opinion, that this is one of the problem that you are trying to address. But I'm sure that these independent businesses that are homegrown Indian businesses, uh, I've seen your website. There is some amazing work out there on the front of WholeSquared as a business, but not only on that front, but also on the front of all the brands that are listed on your website and the products that are offered by them. So, apart from showcasing a use case or displaying the way the product would look like, what are the other challenges that these businesses face, wherein because of the collaboration with you, they are able to uh, be in the market?
So, see, I think, Amrit, because when you are starting out and you're very small, to reach the right kind of audience, to get the platform that you need, it becomes a little difficult for smaller brands because first it would be, there you need a lot of uh, what do you say? You need a lot of
A very
inventory.
targeted approach in terms of
Targeted,
marketing.
yeah, correct. In targeted approach for the marketing. So they would, so WholeSquare is like a platform for them to, showcase it to the larger audience through this
Hmm.
platform.
Hmm. This is this looks more like a win-win for both the sides, where the businesses also are here to get more traction for their products from the internet. It's a wonderful thing that you're doing. Tell me, when you started off, when you had the thought of starting up something like this, that would be more of an aggregator of sorts, connecting the users with the businesses, um, that too of a specific type, who are into home decor products. Self-doubt is something that sets in with a lot of people. Did it set in with you? And if it did so how did you manage, and how do you suggest other fellow entrepreneurs to manage self-doubt?
Yeah. Um, See, Amrit, I think that self-doubt is something that, anybody, who's set out on an unusual path is prone to go through that. I feel that it's a sign of, you are trying new things, or, you are growing as an individual. So for me, whenever, I feel these doubts, I always look back at, where I started from. I mean, being a designer, I didn't know anything about e-commerce business. I mean, in the last 6 months, I have learned so much, and there's only going to be a way forward from here. So I cry and I let it all out, and then I just get back to work. I mean, that's how I deal with it. And obviously, like, I have a support of my family also, like, especially my dad. So we have a WhatsApp group, it's named Today's Your Day. So, he sends me all these motivational quotes and just one-liners where, so I feel a little, confident about it. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's how I.
That's really sweet. It's very critical for your family to be around you when you're starting up, supporting you and giving that kind of boost in the kind of work that you're trying to achieve. And this is something that we get a lot from the entrepreneurs when we are discussing about self-doubt, is reflecting yourself, trying to see what work you have put in, getting the objective in front of you, that what you're trying to achieve. And I think that's what keeps you going. Superb. Uh, Talking about entrepreneurship, it's been, uh, of course, entrepreneurship is a journey that transforms you. You just mentioned that you have learned so much in the last 6 months. Uh, so, how would you, let me put it like this. Um, Tell me the most challenging thing about entrepreneurship and the best thing about entrepreneurship.
Um, I think the most challenging part for me is, the fear of this unknowns. Um, the unknowns are like in every aspect of this journey. For me, in my business, it's about, which brand should I get? How do I convince those brands to come on board with me? How do I reach my customers? Would they trust me? And, so on. So I think having to deal with all these unknowns is the major part of the day that I find very challenging, and especially because right now I don't have a team with me. So it gets a little lonely sometimes, when I need to, bounce off some ideas, or some brainstorm something. So yeah, this is like the most challenging part for me. Um, and the best part, I would say, would be the learning that I'm getting out of it. In the journey, the people that I'm meeting. So in my work, I'm introduced to so many women entrepreneurs.
Hmm.
That in fact, on WholeSquared, 90% of my brands are all women-owned brands. So I hear, I talk to them, I hear their stories. I learn from them. So it's beautiful. I mean, this is the most beautiful, the best part of this journey for me.
Super. I think, interacting with the other fellow entrepreneurs only gives you that kind of support system, and that kind of, it's a uh, famous saying that you are what or who you are surrounded with, and being with like-minded such individuals is only going to help you in your journey of entrepreneurship. Talking about building companies and building brands, the work you're doing is really amazing. I urge our live audience on LinkedIn to go check out her website. It's an amazing, beautifully done marketplace, and really, even if I'm sure if you're going there, you will feel like buying something from there. So while you have been, working hard, hustling hard, building this brand, burnout is something that happens with everybody. Tell me, how do you manage burnout?
Um, Honestly, like Amrit, I've very recently, gone through this. What I feel is when you are in an office, you always get a weekend off. In your business, you are just at it. 24/7, 365 days. You are thinking about it while going to sleep. You wake up thinking about your business. So I think it's very important, to take a day off. And very recently, like I felt so demotivated, like for a couple of days, and then I realized that okay, now is the time to take a step back. And so what I do now is that I take a day off once a week, and I just relax. I mean, I go out, I meet my friends. I've recently started, my hands at different hobbies like pottery, or sometimes I try to cook something. So basically, anything that will not make my mind go towards work related. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
how I.
Yeah, there's this thing with uh, humans that when you reach that point of saturation,
Yeah,
you start getting those negative thoughts, or you start questioning your whole intent,
yeah,
in the first place, and then you go through a nice break, spend good enough time with your own self introspecting, and then the next day maybe, or a couple of days later, you come back rejuvenated, with full power and energy to achieve what you had thought of in the first place. So this is something, which is very much natural, that you need your body and your mind tells you that you
yeah,
need a break. And I think as entrepreneurs, it is very important for us to understand that, all right, here is where we draw that line.
yes, yes, true.
Superb. How has your journey been in terms of building this business? Because for entrepreneurs, it is not easy to get started, build up, and then reach a point where people know about you. And more so in terms of women. For women, it has never been easy for the ecosystem that we are in. So what has been your story being a woman in the entrepreneurship?
Um, I think firstly, like I've been really lucky, I would say in this aspect, because I have a very supportive parents, who had extremely supported me in my education choices, and even now my in-laws. So we have a very supportive environment around me. But yeah, I think that in India, women do juggle a lot of work personally and professionally. So what I like to say is that one, that if you have an idea or a passion, just go for it. Things will eventually fall into place. You learn to handle things. You will learn something out of it. So just go for it. And another thing that even I practiced was, it helps to, set a explicit expectations with your partner, or with your family, and when they understand the motivation behind your idea, I think they will, that will make them help understand better, and they are going to
Mhm.
be with you no matter what. So I think these expectations need to be set with your family. I think that's what my 2 cents would be, to if somebody
Mhm.
is
Mhm.
thinking about entrepreneurship.
Uh, Talking about the internal part of the society, we look at the family and the friends. But what would you, on the similar lines, say about the external environment? Uh, when we're talking about entrepreneurship, and that too about women. When we talk about external people, or the external parties to a business, stakeholders to a business, these are typically when you're trying to conduct business. And have you ever faced a situation where you have been doubted or questioned just because there's a lady running a business? Because it does happen often.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you has it happened with you, and if so, how have you been managing that?
So, yeah, I understand what where you're coming from. I mean, it does happen sometimes. When I'm talking to a brand, sometimes they expect that there's another boss who's a male boss, and they have these expectations that we will talk to him directly, and he would be somebody who would be taking all the decisions for the business. So I have faced it somewhere or the other, but I think now it doesn't make any difference for me. If I come across some people like this, I understand that they might be coming from somewhere, and I just try to explain what I have to explain. I just get the work done, and then I just go ahead with my business. Yeah.
Exactly. I don't think that is something that should stop you. It should stop anyone else. Here is something for our audience that Drashti has to say, that such behavior or such, it might be intentional, might not be intentional, but then this is not something you need to get worried about. Just keep calm and move on. It should not be something that affects you. Talking about the operational bit of the businesses, we in fact, in all the sessions, we speak of this goal setting as an exercise. So how do you exercise goal setting in your business?
Um, uh, See, for a business, I feel that to keep focus on the most important things that will drive your business forward. It's very important. There would be like 50 different things that you are trying to do at at once. So I what I do is I have put one out larger goals around for example customers or orders or marketing, and then I then break it down further into a largely a direction that I'm trying to achieve these goals, and then I try and iterate a few tactics to achieve these goals. But my focus is always on the outcomes and the flexibility of how I achieve them. And then then I just break down them into smaller goals which are more weekly or daily goals that I need to uh, fulfill.
Correct, correct. Superb. So, in the journey, obviously, this journey is full of madness and a lot of hustle behind the scenes that we are trying to highlight through this series of amazing entrepreneurs. This is the fifth episode that we are having with you, Drashti. The idea of amazing entrepreneurs is to bring in the front the hustle and the hard work and the madness that actually happens behind the uh, brands that are often seen on the internet, often glamorized. Through these conversations, what you're trying to do is achieve the situation of letting people know that entrepreneurs are to be celebrated more often, which they are not. So it's really nice speaking to you about all this stuff. All right, quickly, do you use any books or apps for your being on the top of your game? Some books, self-help books that you have been reading, and if so, you would recommend?
Uh, I'm honestly I'm not an avid reader, but my husband is. So I usually go to him, for suggestions for books. Whenever I want to have a specific skills that I want to learn. So currently, I'm reading this book, Masters of Scale. It's by Reid Hoffman. Yeah. So that's the book that I'm reading right now.
And any app that you use to increase your productivity or keep you you
Apps,
know
I think the usual that are Gmail and Google Calendar that are only for your planning and stuff. In terms of like right now, I'm handling my social media on my own. So then I use Canva to create all my contents. I use Plan That and Preview to schedule all these posts. And I I use Pinterest very extensively, for looking for inspirations, looking for these new brands that I need to get on board. So yeah, and yeah.
Superb, superb. So we purposely touch upon these things because uh, from the perspective of people starting up and how to run a lean organization, this is something which is critically important that people should get an idea. Entrepreneurs should get an idea, young entrepreneurs specifically, especially that it's a normal thing to avail free resources or free apps in order to get the ball rolling and not look for paid applications, and the tools that you just mentioned. In
Sure.
fact, we also use a lot of these tools, and lifesavers. All right, so uh, talking about maintaining your health and mental wellness, how would you, what kind of importance do you give to mental sanity and behind so much of madness that goes around? So how do you go about managing that?
Mm, I think uh, this is what my mom always used to tell me, that when you're physically fit, it affects your mental health very positively. So this is instilled into us that some form of workout every day needs to be, you need it to be physically fit. So I do yoga or swimming, or sometimes I go for a walk in the evening. So this is my physical activity. But other than that, I do gardening on weekends. I do cooking. I think this is all these other activities are such that it helps me feel that happiness, feel that positivity in myself. So these are the things, yeah. And one more thing, like I don't I feel very strongly that you should not never sacrifice your sleep. I think it's one of the most important factor in my well-being, especially. I mean, I whenever I don't get a nice sleep, the next day I'm either very cranky or I'm just not productive at all. So sleep is just one thing that I make sure that I follow a good schedule.
Yes, I believe so. I believe that sleep is highly underrated. And when it comes to compromising something in order to fit something in your schedule, sleep is the
Yeah.
very easily compromised. It is easily compromised, and that is something that is a problem solver for a lot of issues, for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So, very well said, very well put. All right, coming to running your business and growing your business, what kind of marketing activities have you adopted for WholeSquared?
Um, so we have started influencer marketing because I feel that that helps me reach my target audience in the best possible manner. Other than that, I have been experimenting with the Meta and the Google Ads as well. At start it seems very overwhelming, given how powerful it is. But yeah, I'm getting used to it. I mean, I'm trying different things out in that space.
Mm, mm.
Uh, yeah.
Superb. Uh, just if we take this conversation a step further in terms of the influencer marketing, uh, can you just try to give a highlight about how the influencer marketing as an activity works, and is it easier for the businesses at the onset, in the very early stages, to take up influencer marketing? Is it affordable, and how have you cracked it?
So, I feel that it's for a smaller business. It's not necessary, when you are going to spend for marketing, especially for influencer marketing. I don't feel that, you need to always go, with the people who have the best number of followers or has the best thing. I feel like even for me, like I started with these micro influencers. I try to figure out their followers, their in terms like are their target audience the same that are mine. Only then it makes sense, to go with one particular influencer. Yeah, I mean, you should always, try to figure out this way, is what I feel. And not necessarily that it's a you need to spend out uh, like extravagantly. You can always work out different methods, what works best for your brand.
Correct. Correct. Super. Thank you so much. So, talking about the industry, you are in e-commerce space, and being trying to build a marketplace for home decor brands that are homegrown, made in India. Um, what are the opportunities that you see that lie ahead from the point of view of this marketplace place growing, onboarding new such brands, and for people
Mm.
working in this space?
Yeah. See, I think if you see the last couple of decades, as the financial appetite increases, you tend to spend more towards, beautifying things. You move away from the utility point of view, and then you try to, in terms of, for example, say homes, you try to have more beautiful homes. You try to express your personality through your homes. So I feel that the opportunity uh, for these brands, for home decor especially, the opportunity lies in identifying, how you can help your customers in expressing their personality through home decor. Uh, so there's definitely a huge increase when you see in interior design space, or even in the home decor. Like, for example, say my parents in their generation would not be spending so much on interior designing, versus now, if you take millennials or Gen Z, they are more about, expressing themselves and their personality through a lot of different things, and home design and home decor is one part of it. So I definitely feel that there's a huge opportunity, huge industry for this. And on the brand side, again, I feel, see, it's only getting easier, to reach your customer online.
Hmm.
You don't need to spend so much on your inventory, spend so much on a physical store. You can just start out with few products. Like if you're making one product, just, you can just start it out online, and then you can take it forward from there. So I think it's the whole online marketplace, whole online platforms. I think that's a huge opportunity for smaller brands also now.
Hmm. Hmm. Exactly. And also, from the perspective of the brands that exist offline, for such brands, a marketplace like this is a boon, and amazing work that you're trying to do for these people. Before we wind up today's session, Drashti, I would like to share I would like you to share three things that you have learned personally from your journey of entrepreneurship, for those who want to get started or are in the journey currently.
um, Firstly, I would say that, it for me also, like, it seemed very hard at first, taking that small step towards it. And that was very difficult. But just take that small step. You won't even realize how quickly you've come so far. If you take me, like, 6 months back, I couldn't even have imagined, that I would have 20 plus brands onboarded. I would have some 700 followers on Instagram. I've reached so many customers also. So it seems hard, but just, take the next step. um, Other thing I would say would be, that focus is one very important. When there are a lot of things that are pulling you towards different things, you need to invest a significant part of yourself, your energy, into things that matter the most at that moment, to take your business forward. So that's another thing. And lastly, I would say that, always have, your friends or your partner or your family, somebody, whom you can very openly, discuss your plans, your problems, who would support you, guide you, because it is going to be difficult. So you are going to need this motivation all the time. So yeah.
Yes, exactly. And more so when, you rightly mentioned that even when you have your teams in place, even when you have your family members in place supporting you, the journey of entrepreneurship in itself is a little lonely. Lonely not in terms of having people around you, lonely in terms of, being able to select the right person with whom you could actually discuss your challenges and,
Yeah.
problems that you're facing, and count on a very, to get a good advice from that network or that person. Uh, Superb. That's one small thing that we are trying to push over here, is to bring out the stories of entrepreneurs, the hustle and the challenges that goes behind building brands. Because often it so happens that people speak of all the good things. People often see the good things that are facing the audience, but no one speaks about the lows that entrepreneurs go through, or the struggles and the hard works, the failures or the pivots that are gone behind making something. So all we are trying to do is just normalize these things and bringing these things in the front, so that it is more easier to strike such conversations even in groups of entrepreneurs when they are together, so that the conversations that go out are more meaningful and are more collaborative and are more warm than just talking about the glam and things like that that are out there. So thank you so much, Drashti. This was a wonderful session,
Thank you
and
so much.
really beneficial for those who are thinking to get started. Beneficial for those who have already gotten started and sometimes feel low or demotivated. That self reflection is always the thing to do that helps you keep on going. And we have more sessions lined up, guys. Thank you so much for joining us in the live stream. Over the weekend we'll be having two more sessions, interesting businesses, interesting journeys of entrepreneurs, and a lot more inspiration to take away. Thank you so much for joining us online. Thank you, Drashti,
Thank you so
for
much.
coming live on this
Thank you
session.
so much.
We
Thank
will
you so much,
catch up.
Amrit. Thank you.
Yes, yes, we will catch up offline. Thank you so much.
Yeah.